So why Lovecraft? Lovecraft was one of the most influential authors from the turn of the century and has been cited many times as being the greatest horror writer of all time. He not only had a very unique style and a unique method of presenting his horrific material, but he was also just downright creepy and exceedingly fun. One of the best things about Lovecraft, to me, is that many of his works are like a miniature puzzle pieces that fit into a bigger picture. So all of his stories, in a way, relate to other stories that he's written. And one of the underlying themes that goes along with his puzzle pieces is that there were these ancient evil aliens that were imprisoned here on our planet by the use of magic, and the only means that these ancient creatures who still are enslaved on our planet have to do anything is they must manipulate the mortal beings on the planet through dreams and madness and magic and make them do their bidding, which is often something evil and horrible. So this is a theme that's going to come into the Father Dagon play. One of these evil ancient creatures is Dagon, who is an underwater creature, and his minions believe that they need to be closer to Dagon, and therefore they use various means to create hybrids of half fish, half human beasts that can live underwater, therefore worship him more, succinctly. And this theme will reoccur throughout the Dagon performance. We'll be recreating one of the towns in which this happens often in Lovecraft stories, that being Innsmouth. And Innsmouth is a little fishing village filled with the not so innocent worshippers of Dagon, and we'll be using this theme to propel the mini stories and the larger Dagon related finale that you will see in this performance. Dreadfalls Theatre is, in my opinion, the perfect troupe to work with for this project, because Dreadfalls Theatre draws liberally from various Gothic and steampunk literature bases. In the past, there's been relation to Poe and relation to Burroughs and definitely Lovecraft and many folk tales and fairy tales, and it's a very dark troupe, which is perfect for very dark literature. And I can't think of anybody else that would be able to pull it off better than Dreadfalls Theatre. Dreadfalls Theatre uses multimedia in various contexts, puppets and live music, dance and movement theater, as well as more traditional acting, and they piece things together in a way that involves the audience as much as they wish to be involved, or breaks down that fourth wall just a little bit, if not a lot. And an important element of Lovecraft is making the reader feel less comfortable than they normally would, and I think that's perfect for an audience member to deal with Dreadfalls Theatre also doing the same thing, especially in a Lovecraft related context. The music that is being composed and generated for the Father Dagon performance is unique in two ways. It's going to rely on musicians that embrace the using of non-conventional instrumentation. And the importance behind that is unfamiliar sounds will add to the creepiness factor. And the unfamiliar sounds are going to be generated by things like homemade instruments or found objects, household items, as well as traditional instrumentation from around the world. The interesting part of this is it's going to allow the musicians to uniquely engage with the audience and emphasize the strangeness or the dark elements of the story that's going to unfold at this piece. And another unique bit that's going to be added is the musicians will be mobile. So the audience members will not just run across a musician here and there or sit down and listen to music being played on the side while something's unveiled in front of them. Instead, they will be surrounded by the music, and the music will swirl around them and relocate throughout the performance at various times. And it's going to be enhanced as well by backing tracks that will be cueing the dancers, puppeteers, etc. for their action within the piece. And I don't know that I've ever seen a performance that has this combination of instrumentation and usage of live music within a context that also takes from pre-recorded material and spatially enhances it within the performance setting. The musicians involved will be Caesar, a dark ambient, all percussion project that's influenced by Lovecraft. There will also be Priapus 23 from the project Acoustic Timbre Frequency, and that project is primarily a dark ambient ritual project, perfect for some cultist activity backing music. There's also going to be Anton Moman, who performs on boxes of homemade instrumentation that he's created himself. And then there will be circuit bender Roxel 4. And each of these musicians will be bringing a unique bank of sounds to the performance, not only individually in their own spaces, but combined along with the actors for larger scenes. And it should prove to be extremely interesting in terms of the audio addition to Father Dagon. We approached the Rag Factory on Brick Lane in London as our testing ground for the performance because it fit the bill in many ways. First of all, even though the budget for it is a little out of our reach, thus we are pitching to have assistance offered. It used to be an old pickling factory, and parts of the building flat out looked like a slaughterhouse, which we felt was an appropriate air for sections of the performance. Also, the building itself is conveniently located. It's in good standing. It's a slightly known venue. It's not one of your bigger venues. However, it's professionally run, and we felt that we would be able to get away with all the goodies that we wanted to do there and make them presented professionally for you using the Rag Factory, which is why we're trying to gather extra funds to procure it, as you can read in our Indiegogo details and descriptions.